Hi folks, this is Jack with Shar Music. Welcome back to the workshop. Last week I challenged all of you with my old versus new violin quiz. This week, as I've promised, I've wrangled two of our experts here, and I'm going to torture them with the same quiz. So, without further ado, why don't we see how they did?
All right, so I am here to do a reaction video to this question on whether or not we can hear the difference between an old and a new instrument. I haven't seen any of these clips, and from what I hear, Tina is trying to trick us with them. So I'm gonna put my ears to the test, and we're gonna check out and see if I can do better than Michael on this.
Hi folks, my name is Michael Bean. I'm the fine instrument specialist here at Shar Music, and today I'm here to see if I can determine the difference between a new violin and an old violin.
It's a pretty rich sound. Okay, that one has a little more texture to it. All right, I'm gonna pause it real quick. All right, so the first violin had a little less texture to the sound. And if I'm going off of just the assumption that old gives you more texture, which I don't think is entirely accurate, with that one I'm gonna have to say violin 2.
Okay, so the second violin sounded a little closed off and muted, which of course could just be a sound post issue. But if I had to make a guess, I would say that the second violin is probably the newest. Could be that it just hasn't had enough time to really be played and broken in.
Here we go. It's a very brilliant sound. It's also high, and I'm a bassist, but okay. Oh man, okay, that's really close. This is where I wish we could listen to the clips more than once, and I could go back and forth and listen to these a lot. They sounded very similar. It's a bit of a coin flip, but I think violin 1 was the older of the two. So we'll go with violin 1.
That one was really tough. Oh, geez. If I had to just make an educated guess based on that very brief excerpt, I would have to say that the first violin sounded like it was the newest. And I'm not sure that I really have a reason why. That's just a guess.
Okay, second one should be starting here, or third one should be starting here in a second. Okay. That's a very rich sound. Whatever instrument this is, definitely likes that register. That's good. All right, what's the next one? Ooh. This has a much bigger, bassier sound. All right, that one was interesting. I think I was hearing more texture in the first clip. And I believe the second clip, I was hearing more of that direct projecting lower sound frequency, which makes me want to think that the second violin is the young one. So yeah, we'll go with that. The first violin is the old one.
So I definitely prefer the sound of the second violin, but me preferring the sound doesn't tell me what it is. The second one sounded much richer, had more texture, more depth, more color. So again, since we're looking at nicer instruments here, I would have to imagine that the first one probably is a nice instrument and does have that, some of those similar qualities, or can once it opens up. It could be that it just needs to be played more. It could be that that's just the way that it sounds. Yeah, so I'd say that the second one is probably the older instrument.
All right, next clip. This is really hard. Okay. And it doesn't help that all of them sound like Tina. It's really, really wild to hear. Okay, this one, okay. Oh. Oh my goodness. Okay, really doesn't help that I've heard Tina play that excerpt hundreds of times.
I didn't even hear a gap.
Yeah, I know. That's because that one goes very quick.
Okay.
Wow, this one I have no idea. Not a clue. See, I did. We'll just continue to alternate. This one will be, second one is the old one. But this is a total coin flip. I have no idea.
Well, that one went so quick, it was hard to tell. I honestly, I didn't even hear a difference that I could tell. It sounded a little bit more lively towards the end of the recording, so I guess that would be the second violin having a little bit more life to it, but I guess I would have to say that the second one is probably the older instrument.
Okay. These are frequencies bassists don't use. Okay. This one sounds more mature. Okay, that one, I'm a little more confident about this one. I'm pretty sure the second one is the old instrument.
They did not make this easy. So, what did I hear? The first instrument sounded a bit muddy. It didn't sound quite as clear as the first instrument. Tonally, I thought that they sounded comparable, but also there was just a lot of bow noise that I was hearing in this particular recording. If I had to make a guess, I would say that the first one is probably the older instrument.
That was really, really hard to do. That was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I'm convinced Tina was out to trick me with this. I'm really curious to see what the results are, and I really hope that I beat Michael.
All right, guys, it's a new day. We're refreshed. How do you guys think you did?
I'll let you go first.
That was excruciating. That was really difficult.
Yeah. Yeah, when the first audio clip played, in the back of my head I was thinking, oh no. Like all of these things that we always think about of like, oh, old instruments sound like this or new instruments sound like this. It was not translating in those audio recordings. And we had nice headphones too. Those are like Bose noise canceling headphones. And yeah, so I think there were like 2 that I was pretty sure of.
Okay.
And then 3 that were
Not so
basically,
sure.
they were basically coin flips.
All right.
Yeah,
How about you?
I felt pretty confident with the first one, and then it all went downhill from there.
It's like test anxiety.
Yeah, it was. Well, it just I've looked at other articles and have heard plenty of discussion about the differences between a new instrument and an old instrument, whether it be violin, guitar, whatever. And everybody always has this opinion of, well, older has got to be better. And I've never really thought that was true, that was the case, but this is what we're trying to determine.
This is exactly what we're trying to determine here.
Yeah.
So are you guys ready to hear your final scores?
No.
No, but yes.
But you're gonna hear them anyway.
Okay.
For the folks at home, just as a reminder, the not winner of this competition, the loser of this competition, will be locked in our vault for 4 hours, so that we can use that footage in another video to show folks just what the effects of practice are.
Yeah.
So
here we go.
without further ado, do you guys want me to run through each and every one, or do you want me to just give you your final score?
Oh, let's run through each one.
All right.
Each one.
So for the first pair, the answer was the first one.
Okay.
The first one was the old one, or
The first one was the old one.
Okay, yeah.
You got that right. You did not.
Oh no. That was one of the ones I was sure of. This does not bode well. Okay.
For the second violin, you put down 2. You put down 1.
Oh my goodness.
The old violin was number 2.
Oh no, I'm down 0-2 right now? Oh dear.
Better get your bass ready.
Oh no. Okay. We got time.
For the third pair, you put down 1. You put down 2. And the answer was 2. So
I've lost.
you're currently 3-0. Being you are
He's perfect right now.
you're doing pretty well.
Oh wow.
Get to keep my job.
You do. That's exciting.
For the fourth pair, you both answered the second violin, and you were both wrong. It was the first violin.
That was the one it was just such a brief excerpt, right?
That was the fast
that
one,
was
right?
the super fast
Yeah.
one.
Oh, okay.
I think that was.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Yeah.
And for the final violin, the final pair rather, you guessed 2, you guessed 1, and the correct answer is 2.
I got 1.
You got 1.
I got 1.
The final score, AJ, you got 1 out of 5. Michael Bean, you got 3 out of 5.
All right.
AJ, you will be our contender for the practice video. So be thinking about which instrument you would like to play and which piece you would like to play.
All right, I'll be thinking about that.
Now, who really won here? Because you get to, on the clock, get locked up in a vault and practice for 4 hours. I don't remember the last time I've had 4 hours to be able to practice.
You can be in the follow-up video.
Okay.
Well, what's interesting about that, I went into that test going full on old instrument cliche with my analysis. Basically, if it was sounding dark and if it was sounding like it had like a rich open sound, I was like, older one.
Sure.
Older one. That is fascinating that was only true for 1.
Only true for 1 of them. And I'm
Wow.
rather surprised to see that the highest score we got was 3.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
It's more than 50%.
it's more than 50%.
yeah, more than 50%, but out of 5, that's a coin flip.
Yeah.
Beginning to end.
Right.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
That is really cool.
As you can tell, this quiz was just a little difficult. Neither of our experts got scores that they could take home to their parents. And really, Instagram was very similar. We ran the same quiz over our Instagram account throughout last week, And grand total, about 51 to 53% of our audience guessed which ones were the older instrument. But that number doesn't really tell us how many of those may have been lucky guesses. In the end, and really the moral of this story is, age does not matter a heck of a lot when it comes to instruments. There are plenty of great new instruments available today, and there are plenty of old, beautiful instruments available. If you don't like what you're playing, get something new. But remember, age doesn't really enter into the formula. That's all the time I have for today. Thank you so much for joining me here, and we'll see you all here next time on The Workshop.